good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's broadcast. Welcome and welcome and welcome. Do me a favor as you join the broadcast, say hello, say hi, let me know where you have joined from this evening. Go ahead and put something in the comments and let me know that I am not by myself tonight. All right. Good evening, Dr. Abino. Good evening, Joseph Ajayi. I see you. You are welcome. You're welcome. Do me a favor and share the link with a friend or two. Put the link on a WhatsApp group you belong to. Let people know that we are live tonight. Joseph Aduku, I see you. Good evening. Helen Daniel, good evening. Osadebe, good evening. Good evening. Eddie, I see you from Nairobi. Good evening. David Makinde, good evening. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for joining me. All right. Wisdom Johnson, I see you. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, Eddie from Nairobi, thank you for joining tonight. You are much welcome. For everybody who's been a part of Life and Leadership, especially this series moving forward, it's been a pleasure sharing this experience with you. Okay, Wisdom Johnson, you are still in Takwa Bay. I don't know what you are still doing there. You better come back. Life has returned to normal. All right, Muiwa Tuni, good to see you. Thank you for being here tonight. Now, if you don't have a copy of the book, for the sake of those who don't have a copy of the book moving forward, of course, it's available at all locations of Hill City, Ikeja, and Lekki, and it's also available on my digital store. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. Hey, Shewojo, I see you. Good evening. All right. So to get your copy of Moving Forward, you can use that link. I have pinned it in the chat this evening. Shewojo, good evening. Joseph Aduku, good evening. Good evening, everybody. Now, I want to make a special announcement, and this is like some sort of a reward program for the faithfuls, for members of Hill City, for members of the Life and Leadership WhatsApp community who have been following closely. There's going to be an event on the 5th of July, and it's strictly by registration. Admission is free, but we have limited seats. Once the registration gets to 100 persons, we are going to shut down registration. And so what I've decided to do is to give my ardent followers, my committed followers, the privilege to get to know about the program and to register, ahead of the general public. It is Moving Forward, the media retreat. We're going to come into the room. We're going to, and by the way, it's a faith-based program. So we're going to pray, we're going to worship, and then based on the content of the book Moving Forward, we are going to have practical sessions, hands-on practical sessions. You will have documents to go with, I'm creating workbooks, all right, on each chapter of the book that we're going to work with that day, and I'm going to be sharing insights and ideas that did not make it to the book and that I have not shared during this live broadcast. It's going to be on the 5th of July, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'm sorry for those outside Lagos, it will not be live streamed. You have to be in the room. So to register for the media retreat, I'm going to share the link right now, and I am not going to pin it. So if you are not live right now, and if you don't get to watch the broadcast to this point and pick it, you probably would be hearing about it after the general public, has gotten wind of the program. So I would encourage you to click on the link right now, open the page somewhere, save it somehow so that you can register, okay, later on, so that you can register later on. But it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful media retreat. By the time we are done with that media retreat, you will know exactly what steps you want to take. Okay, you will have documented steps that you're going to take, all right, for the rest of the year, and honestly, perhaps for the rest of your life. Don't miss it for anything. Towards the end of last year, I had a stirring in my heart to start doing a lot of these kind of programs absolutely free. Not because they are cheap, but because that is my instruction. But we're not looking for a crowd. Honestly, I just moved, okay, the number of seats from 50 to 100 today. Okay, once we get to 100, let me help you understand. Members of Hill City, we are hundreds, okay, in number. Leaders alone are almost 30 plus, okay, of Hill City. So there is no preferential treatment. It's first come, first served. Once the 100 seats are taken, the 100 seats are taken. So don't have the idea, oh, I volunteer at Hill City, I'm a leader at Hill City, there would always be a seat for me. No. Once you have not registered, there is no seat for you. So the link is in the comments. Register for the media retreat right away. There's no flyer out right now. The flyer perhaps is going to come out maybe next week. Okay. The program is in July, so we have ample time. All right. So please make sure that you register. And if you are not part of the WhatsApp community, let me share the link for you to join our WhatsApp community. But of course, clicking on the link is not automatic. Okay, I'm just going to copy and share that link right here. But like I said, clicking on the link is not automatic, because we have some scammers who just want to join a WhatsApp group and start, scamming people and all that. So once you apply to join the group, we're going to vet you. We're going to ask you questions. If you cannot verify your identity, if we cannot know you, okay, we won't allow you to join the group. So for those who are interested in joining my WhatsApp community, put it at the back of your mind. You're protected. You are safe. Okay, nobody in the group is going to try to, hack your account. Nobody's going to send you unnecessary messages or scam you, because everybody on the group is vetted. So to join a Life and Leadership WhatsApp community, you can use the link that I just shared in the comment right now. For those who are just joining us, welcome to Life and Leadership with Segun Oke, and welcome to the final session in the Moving Forward series. Tonight, I'm going to say something about every chapter, and then I'm going to now settle on our final chapter in the book, chapter 5. All right, so we started from chapter 1. We said that you were designed for progress. One big idea we shared in chapter 1 is wherever there is life, there is growth. And wherever there is growth, there will be challenges, so that growth may multiply. When you respond to challenges with intelligent strategy, progress is inevitable. That is the summary of chapter 1 of the book. Wherever there is life, there is growth. Wherever there is growth, there will be challenges, so that growth may multiply. When you respond to challenges with intelligent strategy, progress is inevitable. From there, we move on to chapter 2. And we said in chapter 2, you have to be clear. For those who have read the book, at the end of chapter 1, I highlighted the rest of the chapters of the book. You have to be clear is chapter 2. Chapter 3 is you need a dream team. And chapter 4 is you have to run. So it's like a sandwich. Chapter 1 is the top. Chapter 5 is the base. Chapter 2, 3, and 4 are the fillings of your sandwich. You need to be clear, or you have to be clear. You need a dream team, and you have to run. So chapter 2 is you have to be clear. We said that clarity is made up of self-awareness and vision. Self-awareness means that you know who you are, that you know why you exist. It means you understand your uniqueness, you understand your strengths and weaknesses, and you understand your purpose. That is the unique role you were designed by God to play in life. Then, vision is the ability to see with your mind. Vision is the ability to see far beyond your current reality and to know exactly what to do next. When you combine vision and self-awareness, you have clarity. That's what chapter 2 is all about. Then we moved on to chapter 3. We said that you need a dream team, because in life you don't go as far as your dream, you go as far as your team. Another big idea we shared towards the end of chapter 3 is every breakthrough and every breakdown begins with a conversation. In other words, the quality of your relationships determine the quality of your life. Let me say that again. The quality of your relationships determines the quality of your life. So in chapter 3, we looked at how to pick members of your team, how to define your relationships, and how to manage your relationships so that you can continue to make progress. From there, we moved on to chapter 4. We said, life is not a competition. Nevertheless, it is a race against time. Life is a race against time. I shared with you about the 40-year window. That is the window between the age of 20 and 60. It is that season of your life where your mental, emotional, and physical faculties are at their peak. This is when most of us are active and productive. And I said to you that what you do in this season, this 40-year window, will largely determine your legacy and the quality of your life afterwards. Now, let's move on to chapter 5. Our topic for chapter 5 is problems are not the problem. Problems are not the problem. So, consider chapter 1 my way of telling you what life is all about. Life is all about moving forward. It's all about making progress. And as you make progress, you will face challenges. Realize those challenges are there to help you continue to make progress, not to stop you from making progress. Then I shared 3 essentials with you: clarity, relationships, and living with a sense of urgency. Okay, consider those 3 chapters my way of equipping you for this journey of life. Then in chapter 5, I am sharing with you, okay, what to do with life. The rest of your story from now is all about solving problems. And the message is, problems are not the problem. Let's read from James chapter 1 and verse 2. James, the brother of Jesus, said, "Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy." When troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. James is saying to us that problems are landmarks indicating opportunities ahead. For those who have read the book, at the beginning of the book, I share, a story of my growing up years in the city of Ibadan, how my father worked in the city of Lagos and the family lived in the city of Ibadan. And from time to time, we will visit the city of Lagos to spend time with my father when we're on holidays. And for those who have made that journey severally, there are landmarks on your way, especially from Ibadan to Lagos. There are places you get to. When you get there, Lagos is far. See, at that time, for me, Lagos was the farthest place I'd ever been. I was born in the city of Ibadan. I grew up in the city of Ibadan. Visiting Lagos was like the farthest distance. Okay. So when you leave Ibadan, you slip off. It's a long journey. But when you get to what was the middle toll gate at Ogere, the excitement begins to build. Half of the journey is behind you. Once you get to Ogere, then after that you move on. Okay, see, then there are these long bridges before you enter Lagos. Okay, I can't remember how many of them in those days, but I think there were like 3 or 4 of them. See, once you get on the first bridge, Lagos, okay, is close by. And then the last one is the longest. So you get on the first one, you come down. You get on the second one, you come down. When you get on the longest one, okay, we are in Lagos. We're practically in Lagos. We get excited. Okay, myself and my siblings. Okay, I don't know if you guys did this when you were kids. You sit on the back seat and then you turn facing the back of the car, and you are looking at the landmarks. You're looking at the road signs, and we are in Lagos. Now, James was the brother of Jesus, and I'm sure when they were kids, they got up to some of their own shenanigans. And what he's telling us here is, look, when you see problems, consider problems an opportunity. Okay? When you see problems, consider problems landmarks or roadmarks telling you that opportunities are ahead. When you see problems, he said, rejoice. Listen, this is a different attitude to have to challenges. And I want to share with you 2 case studies from the Bible, okay, how that look. When we respond to problems with intelligent strategy, progress is inevitable. The first one is in Acts chapter 6. The church was growing, and the Bible records that there was complaints, okay, from a certain group because they said their widows were being neglected in the daily distribution of food. Okay, it's a growth problem. The church came together and the leader said, it's not proper for us to abandon the ministry of prayer and the word and to serve on tables. So they came up with a strategy. Let's choose 7 people and let's delegate this assignment to them so that we can focus on the core of our assignment as leaders. The moment they responded to that challenge with intelligent strategy, the Bible records that the church continued to grow to the point where people who couldn't come before, okay, started to come. Priests joined them. People who will never have joined the church joined that church because they responded to their challenges with intelligent strategy. And then the church continued to grow until we get to chapter 8 of the book of Acts. There was another problem. Stephen was killed, and the Bible records that on that day, a great persecution broke out against the church. The whole church scattered except for the apostles. Now, at face value, it looked like the church was destroyed. It looked like the church was scattered. But no, because the members of the church responded to that challenge with intelligence, with strategy, the church multiplied. So what did they do? The Bible records that all the people that were dispersed, everywhere they went, preached the gospel, and they reproduced the church in Jerusalem. Let's use contemporary terms. Let's assume we have a church of 6,000 people in the city of Lagos. And for one reason, the government came up with a law saying this church must not meet here anymore. So the 6,000 members dispersed except for the core leaders of the church. What did they do? Everywhere they went, they planted churches. So that one church became hundreds of churches because the members of the church responded with strategy. They responded with resilience, with a positive attitude. And that's exactly my message to you, that when you respond to problems with intelligent strategy, progress is inevitable. Let me say it to you exactly the way I wrote it in the book. I said, challenges are not roadblocks, but stepping stones to discovering your true potential. Philip was just one of those 7 guys. Remember the guys that were, brought together in Acts 6, okay, to take over 7 of tables. Philip was one of them. By chapter 8, when Philip got to Samaria, Philip, who was just a deacon in Jerusalem, became an evangelist who turned the whole of the city of Samaria upside down. And this is what we're trying to say. When you respond to problems properly, you discover your true potential. Philip would have remained just a deacon in Jerusalem, but because the church responded to their challenges with a positive attitude and with intelligent strategy, Philip realized his potential from a deacon to a citywide evangelist. There were supernatural things that happened in the life of, Philip, in the life of Philip and through the life of Philip that would not have happened except that they responded to their challenges with the right attitude and with the right strategy. When you do the same thing, you will get the same result. Now, tonight, I want us to look at the book of Judges, chapter 3, verse 1 to 4. There are some lessons for us to learn from there, and I want us to read it together. Judges, chapter 3, verse 1 to 4. It says, "These are the nations that the Lord left in the land to test those Israelites who had not experienced the wars of Canaan. He did it to teach warfare to the generations of Israelites who had no experience in battle." I want you to pay attention to that first principle. Verse 2, "He did it to teach warfare to generation of Israelites who had no experience in battle." These are the nations, the Philistines, those living under the 5 Philistine rulers, all the Canaanites, the Sidonians, and the Hivites living in the mountains of Lebanon from Mount Baal-Hermon to Lebo Hamath. Now look at the next principle. These people were left to test the Israelites, to see whether they would obey the commands the Lord had given to their ancestors through Moses. Now, from this beautiful portion of scripture, there are 2 powerful principles I want us to extract. This is the first one. Problems will train you. Problems will train you. So you need to understand that when a challenge comes your way, its first purpose is to make you fit for your assignment. Okay, I said something last week that you prepare to run by running. Okay, life is all about solving problems. And how you train to solve problems is by solving problems. So the moment you see problems or challenges, rejoice, because that is how you develop fitness, okay, for your assignment. The second principle from that portion of scripture is that problems will test you. Problems will test you. You see, God knows your condition. God knows the state of your heart, but it's amazing how that as humans, we are capable of self-deception. So, problems will test you to reveal to you the actual condition of your heart. Many of us, we think we are patient until a challenge comes to reveal to you you are not as patient as you think you are. Some of us, we think we are tolerant until a conflict will arise. Somebody comes and presses your button, and that reveals to you that, man, you are not as tolerant as you think you are. Many of us think we are generous until an Oliver Twist is allowed to come into your life. When you do what you think is your best, the Oliver Twist asks for more. Then it dawns on you, man, I'm not as generous as I thought I was. Many of us think that we are intelligent, we are smart, and we know a lot of things until problems will come that would reveal to you that you don't know as much as you ought to know. So, problems will train you, problems will test you to reveal to you the condition or the true condition of your heart. Okay, and in the book, one big idea I share in the book that I want to share with you tonight is that problems are your invitation to relevance and prosperity. Don't forget what James said. When you see challenges, rejoice, because they are landmarks telling you opportunities are ahead. And exactly what I'm saying to you is that the problems you can solve and how effective you are in solving them will determine your relevance. And I say this jokingly to people. You see, the barber and the brain surgeon both work on the head, but they don't earn the same thing. Because it's not just about where you work, it's about the kind of problem that you solve. So the problems you are solving right now is your invitation, or the problems or the challenges you're facing right now is your invitation to relevance. I wrote it specifically in the book this way. I want us to read it together. I said, the problems you have solved will determine the problems you can solve. Therefore, your current problems are not the problem. They are your invitation to relevance and prosperity. And I jokingly say to people, if you have car troubles, and I tell you, there's a guy I know, he fixed my fridge, he can fix your car. What would you say? You don't want such a person, okay? You want somebody who has fixed my car before to fix your car. So the problems you have solved before is what determines your relevance. So if there is a challenge in front of you that you are yet to solve, it is not your enemy, it is not your problem, it is your invitation to relevance. Another thing I say jokingly to people is picture a barber in the city of Lagos, trained from the US. He is an expert. He can cut anybody's hair. He has barbed for the who and who, no matter what his credentials, or his pedigree is, he is irrelevant to me. For upwards of 8 to 9 years now, I have not needed a barber because I cut my own hair and I do it twice a week. Okay? So I don't need a barber. So regardless of his skill, he is not relevant to me. So when you want people to be your friend and you make your challenges your enemy, you are befriending the wrong person. You should befriend your problems, befriend your challenges, because they are your key to the best relationships in your life. When that barber wakes up tomorrow and say, God, multiply my customers, increase my revenue, God cannot answer that prayer through me because I don't need a barber. So the problems you have solved and how effective you are in solving them determines your relevance. You remember Joseph in the Bible? What Joseph did in prison was his invitation to the palace. What David did behind the scenes was his invitation to Saul's palace. So the question I have for you tonight is, the people that know you, what do they have to say to people that don't know you? Listen, it's not about what you tell them. It's not about what you post on social media. It is about the problems that you have solved for them. So from now on, when you see challenges, remember, the challenge is not my enemy. The challenge is my invitation to relevance. The challenge is my invitation to prosperity. Another portion of the book I have lifted to share with you tonight, and for me, this is very profound. I want us to read it together. I said, when people need you, they will seek you. And when people truly need you, they will pay you. Prosperity is simply a reward for problems solved. The problems you solve and who you solve them for determine how much money flows in your direction. It will do you a world of good to always remember this truth. Everybody has a problem. Everybody has a problem. So, those who truly get ahead in life, those who truly succeed in life, are those who have learned, to ignore their own problems long enough to focus on solving other people's problems. See, because that is the key to relevance, that is the key to prosperity. And I like to say to people this way: there is no field without a millionaire, there is no field without a pauper. So it's not the field that determines your prosperity. It is your skillfulness, your drive, your expertise, the kind of problems that you can solve and who you solve them for that will determine how much money flows in your direction. I hope I've been able to convince you that problems are not the problem. They are your invitation to relevance. They are your access to prosperity. It's brief, it's short, but that's our presentation for today. And that brings us to the end of our review of the book, Moving Forward. I would want to entertain your questions, if you have questions at this time, from anywhere in the book. You can ask me questions from anywhere in the book, and I'll be glad to answer your questions tonight. One more time, let me remind you, if you don't have a copy of the book, Moving Forward, There's a link I've shared in the comments. If you click on that link, it takes you to my digital store, and you can get either the ebook or you can order the hardback or the paperback, and it will be delivered to you as long as you're in the city of Lagos. By next week, we're going to give the announcement for those on Amazon how to get the book. We're not yet ready for Amazon, but it's ready in Lagos. For you can order in Lagos, or if you want to pick it up, come to Hill City, Ikeja or Lekki, and you'll be able to pick up the book. In Ikeja, you can get it Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or Sunday. In Lekki, you can get it on Sunday. So please make sure that you get a copy of the book. There is going to be a media retreat. I spoke about it at the beginning of this session. For those who are not have not yet registered, we have just 100 seats, and that retreat is going to be based on the book. But this time around, we're going to skip the theory, and we're going to be doing a lot of practicals. That's the reason why we're restricting it to 100 persons, because we're going to be seated. Okay, you're going to have a workbook to work with. By the time that retreat is over, you will have a document, actionable, steps that you're going to take to shift your life to the next level. But just 100 seats are available. So get the link. It's in the comments. Just go through the comments and get the link, and register. We've not made a public announcement. I'm sharing it here for the very first time, so that only those who are committed to my community will get their seats first. But the moment we throw the information open, then it's first come, first served. So please make sure that you register. Let me also use this opportunity to invite you to Hill City. From this Sunday, we're starting a brand new teaching series titled Selfless, switching from success to significance. Throughout the month of May, it's going to be huge. It's going to be transformative. You don't want to miss it for anything. In Ikeja, we're at 18/20 Kudura Tabiola Way, Oregun, Ikeja, Lagos. And in Lekki, we're at number 14 Nike Art Gallery Road, Ikate, Lekki Phase 1, Lagos. Wherever you are in the city of Lagos, you have two options. You can worship with us physically at Hill City. If you're outside Lagos, then of course you can join us on YouTube at Hill City NG. On YouTube is for Ikeja Church. At Hill City NG _Lekki is the YouTube channel of the Lekki Church. And we're live in our services 10 a.m. every Sunday in both locations. So you don't want to miss Sundays at Hill City for anything. All right, like I said, if you have a question, please put it in the comments right away, so that we can respond to your question before we go. If you are not on the WhatsApp platform, then you will be missing out on the extras. I share some stuff there from time to time that I don't share with the public. So you want to make sure that you join me on WhatsApp. The link is also in the comments. All right, thank you very much. So I'm going to wait just 1 minute for your questions, if we have any question, and then we're going to wrap it up for tonight. Any question, any question, any question? Okay. Like I said, if you're yet to register for the mid-year retreat, please do so right away. Once we get to 100 seats, we will shut down registration, and attendance is strictly by registration. So make sure that you register. All right. Thank you very much. It looks like we don't have any question for tonight, so we are going to wrap it up. Next week, Wednesday at 7 p.m. is another time. We're going to have a good time, before next Wednesday, I'm going to share with you the topic that we're going to share. Guys in the WhatsApp group will hear about it first, and then we're going to make it public before next week, Wednesday. Thank you very much for being a part of tonight's broadcast. I will see you next Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week, and God bless you. Bye-bye.